the Stapletons of Merripit House. The fresh morning light made us forget the dark, gloomy feeling we had when we first arrived at Baskerville Hall. Sir Henry and I sat at breakfast. Sunlight came through the tall windows, shining through the coats of arms on the glass. The dark wooden walls looked warm and golden in the sun. It was hard to believe this was the same room that had made us feel so sad the night before. "I think it was us, not the house, that made it seem so gloomy," said Sir Henry. "We were tired and cold after the journey, so we saw the place as sad. Did you hear a woman crying during the night?" "That is strange," he answered. "I thought I heard something like that when I was half asleep. But I waited a long time and heard nothing more, so I thought it was a dream." I heard it clearly. He asked Barrymore if he knew anything about the crying. The butler's pale face became even paler as he listened. "There are only 2 women in the house, Sir Henry," Barrymore said. "One is the kitchen maid who sleeps in another wing. The other is my wife. I can say it was not her." But he lied. After breakfast, I saw Mrs. Barrymore in the corridor. The sun shone on her face, and her eyes were red and swollen. She had been crying. If she cried, her husband must know. Why did he say otherwise? Why was she so sad? Barrymore seemed mysterious and gloomy. He was the first to find Sir Charles's body, and we only had his story about the old man's death. Could Barrymore have been the man in the cab in London? He had a black beard, and the cabman said the man was a bit shorter, but he might have been wrong. I needed to check with the postmaster at Grimpen Village to see if the telegram test had really been given to Barrymore. Whatever the answer, I had to report it to Sherlock Holmes. Sir Henry had papers to study after breakfast, so I went out. It was a pleasant 4-mile walk along the edge of the moor. I came to a small grey village with 2 large buildings, the inn and Dr. Mortimer's house. The postmaster, who also ran the village store, clearly remembered the telegram. "Yes, sir," he said. "I gave the telegram to Mr. Recon, to Mr. B.S. Barrymore, just as instructed." "Who gave it to him?" "My son James did." "James, did you give the telegram to Mr. Barrymore last week?" "Yes, father, I did." "Did you give it into his own hands?" "Well, he was in the loft at the time, so I gave it to Mrs. Barrymore, and she promised to give it to him immediately." "Barrymore? No, sir. He was in the loft." "How do you know he was in the loft if you didn't see him?" "His own wife should know where he is," said the postmaster, annoyed. "If there is a problem, Mr. Barrymore should complain. It was no use asking more. We had no proof that Barrymore was not in London all the time. But what if he was the last man to see Sir Charles alive and the first to follow the new heir? Was he working for someone else or had a secret plan? Why would he want to harm the Baskerville family? Sir Henry suggested maybe the Barrymores wanted the family to leave so they could have the house. But that did not explain the complex mystery around the young baronet. As I walked back along the lonely road, I hoped Holmes would soon come and help me with this heavy responsibility. Suddenly, I heard running footsteps behind me and a voice calling my name. I turned, expecting Dr. He was a small, slim man, clean-shaven, with blonde hair and a thin face, about 30 to 40 years old. He wore a gray suit and a straw hat. A tin box for plants hung over his shoulder, and he carried a green butterfly net. "Please excuse my boldness, Dr. Watson," he said, panting. "Here on the moor, we don't wait for formal introductions. You may have heard my name from our friend Mortimer. I am Stapleton, of Merripit House." "Your net and box gave you away," I said. I knew Mr. Stapleton was a naturalist. "But how did you know me?" "I was visiting Mortimer, and he showed me you from his window as you passed." Since we walked the same way, I thought I would catch up and introduce myself. I hope Sir Henry is well after his journey. He is well, thank you. We were worried that after Sir Charles's sad death, the new baronet might refuse to live here. It is asking a lot of a rich man to come to such a place. But I don't need to tell you how important Sir Henry is to the local people. He has no superstitious fears, I suppose? I don't think so. Of course. You know the legend of the ghostly dog that haunts the family. I have heard it. But his eyes showed he took it seriously. The story greatly affected Sir Charles, and I think it caused his death. I believe he really saw something on that last night in the yew alley. I feared a disaster because I liked the old man. Stapleton's calm face showed no surprise. It's useless to pretend we don't know you, Dr. Enbasses, Watson, he said. Your famous detective's work is known here, and you could not hide your connection. When Mortimer told me your name, he could not deny who you were. If you are here, Mr. Sherlock Holmes must be involved, and I am curious to know his opinion. I'm afraid I cannot answer that. Will he visit here? He cannot leave London now. He has other cases. What a pity. He might help us understand this mystery. But if I can help you in any way, please ask. If I knew your suspicions or plans, I might give advice or help now. I'm just visiting Sir Henry and need no help. Thank you. Very good, said Stapleton. You are right to be careful. I was wrong to speak without asking. On the right was a steep hill with big stones. Long ago it had been a granite quarry. The cliff was dark and covered with plants. Far away, we saw smoke rising. Stapleton said, if we walk a little on this path, we will get to Merripit House. But he had many papers to check, so I thought it was better to accept the invitation. Holmes had told me to watch the neighbors, so I walked with Stapleton. Stapleton looked around and said, the moor is wonderful. You never get tired of it. It is big, empty, and full of secrets. I asked, do you know it well? He said, I have been here only 2 years. People call me a newcomer. We came soon after Sir Charles arrived. I think few know the moor better than me. I asked, is it hard to understand? He said, yes. Look at the big plain to the north with strange hills. Do you see anything special? I said. It looks like a dangerous place to ride horses. He laughed and said, many people have died there. See those green spots? That is Grimpen Mire. If you step there, you can die. A pony went in yesterday and drowned. Even in dry times, it is dangerous. But I know paths to go safely in and out. Look, there is another pony. We saw Brown moving in the green plants. Then a long neck rose, and a horrible cry came from the moor. I was very scared, but Stapleton was calm. He said, it is gone. The mire caught it. 2 ponies in 2 days. Many more are lost because they do not see the danger. Grimpen Mire is a bad place. I asked, why do you go there? He said, see those hills? They are like islands surrounded by the dangerous mire. I want to try one day. He looked surprised and said, don't. It is very dangerous. You would die. Only I know the safe way because I remember special landmarks. Suddenly, a sad, long moan sound came over the moor. It was hard to tell where it came from. It grew loud, then soft again. Stapleton looked at me strangely. He said, the moor is a strange place. I asked, what is that sound? He said, the peasants say it is the hound of the Baskervilles calling for prey. Only 2 ravens croaked loudly nearby. I said, you are educated. You don't believe such stories, right? What do you think made that sound? He said. Bogs sometimes make strange noises. It could be mud moving, or water rising? I said, "No, that was a living sound." He said, "Oh, maybe it was." "Have you heard a bitten bird?" I said, "No." He said, "It is a rare bird in England now, almost gone. But on the moor anything is possible." "Maybe we heard the last bittern." I said, "That was the strangest sound I ever heard." "Yes, the moor is a strange place," said Stapleton. "Look at that hillside over there. What do you think of those stones?" The hill was covered with many grey stone rings. "Are they for sheep?" I asked. "No, they are homes of old people who lived here long ago. Prehistoric people lived on the moor. Since no one has lived here for a long time, their homes are still here. These are their wigwams without roofs." "When did they live here?" "Long ago, in the Neolithic time." "No exact date." "What did they do?" "They kept cattle on the hills. They also learned to dig for tin when bronze tools replaced stone ones. Look at the big ditch on the other hill. That is their work. You will find many strange things on the moor, Dr. Watson. Oh, wait, that is a cyclopides. A small butterfly flew near us." Stapleton ran after it very fast. I was afraid he might fall into the dangerous mire because he did not stop. He jumped from plant to plant with his green net. He looked like a big butterfly himself. Then I heard footsteps and turned to see a woman on the path. She came from the direction of Merripit House, but the land shape hid her until she was close. I knew this must be Miss Stapleton, who was said to be very beautiful. She was very different from her brother. Stapleton had light hair and gray eyes, but she was dark, slim, tall, and elegant. Her face was proud and perfect, with dark, bright eyes and a sensitive mouth. She looked strange on the lonely moor path. Her eyes looked at her brother, then she came quickly to me. I raised my hat to greet her, but she spoke quickly and surprised me. "Go back," she said. Her eyes were strong, and she tapped the ground. "Why should I go back?" I asked. "I cannot explain," she said in a low voice with a strange way of speaking. "But please do what I say. Go back and never come to the moor again." "But I just came," I said. "Man, man," she cried. "Can't you see this warning is for your own good? Go back to London tonight. Leave this place at once. Be quiet. My brother is coming. Don't tell him what I said. Will you get an orchid for me from the mare's tails over there? The moor has many orchids, breathing fast and red in the face." "Hello, Beryl," he said, but I thought he did not sound very happy. "You are very hot," she said. "Yes, I was chasing a rare cyclopides butterfly in late autumn. Too bad I missed it." He looked at her and me many times while he spoke calmly. "You have already introduced yourselves," said Stapleton. "Yes," I answered. "You think I am?" asked Sir Henry. "I thought you were Sir Henry Baskerville." "No," I said. "I am just a simple man and a friend of Sir Henry. My name is Dr. Watson." Miss Stapleton looked upset. "We were not understanding each other," she said. "You did not have much time to talk," said her brother. "I talked like Dr. Watson lived here, not just visiting," she said. "The time for seeing orchids does not matter to him. But will you come and see Merripit House?" We walked a short way to Merripit House. It was a sad, lonely house on the moor. It used to be a farm, but now it was fixed up as a modern home. Around it were trees, but they were small and weak, like usual on the moor. The house looked poor and sad. An old, thin man opened the door. He looked like he belonged to the house. Inside, the rooms were big and nicely decorated. I saw the lady's good taste. From the windows, the moor stretched far and wide, full of rocks and grass. I wondered why such smart people lived in such a place. Stapleton said, It is a strange place to live, but we are happy, aren't we, Beryl? She said, yes. Happy, but I could not believe her. Stapleton told me I had a school in the north. Teaching was boring for me, but I liked working with young people. We had bad luck. A sickness killed 3 boys, and the school closed. I lost a lot of money, but I enjoyed them all because of my love for plants and animals. My sister loves nature too. Watson, you made me talk about this because of the way you looked at the moor. I said, no, I am never bored. She said they had books, studies, and good neighbors. Mortimer was very smart. They knew Sir Charles well and missed him. She asked if it was okay to visit Sir Henry that afternoon. I said I am sure he will be happy. She invited me upstairs to see her collection of butterflies. She said lunch would be ready soon. But I wanted to go back to Sir Henry. The sad moor, the dead pony, the strange sounds, and the warning from Miss Stapleton all made me uneasy. I refused to stay for lunch and walked back the way we came. Before I reached the road, I was surprised to see Miss Stapleton sitting on a rock near the path. She looked tired and held her side. She said, I ran to stop you, Dr. Watson. I did not have time to put on my hat. I must hurry, or my brother will miss me. I want to say I am sorry for the mistake I made, thinking you were Sir Henry. Please forget what I said, and it does not apply to you. I said I can't forget. I care about Sir Henry's safety. Why did you want him to go back to London? She said. It was a woman's feeling. When you know me better, you will understand. I can't always explain. I said, no. I saw your fear and heard your voice. Please be honest. Since I arrived, I feel shadows all around me. Life feels like the dangerous moor, with hidden traps everywhere. Tell me what you meant. I will warn Sir Henry. She looked unsure for a moment, but then said firmly, you worry too much. Watson, my brother and I were very upset by Sir Charles's death. We knew him well. His favorite walk was over the moor to our house. He believed the family curse. When he died, I thought his fears might be true. I was sad when another family member came here. I wanted to warn him of the danger. You know the story of the Hound. I don't believe in such stories, but I do. If you can, take Sir Henry away from this place. It is always dangerous for his family. The world is big. Why live in danger? He lives here because he is brave. But it will be hard to make him leave without more proof. She said, I don't know more. I can't say more, I asked. If you meant only this, why did you not want your brother to hear? He would not mind. She said, my brother wants the hall to be lived in. He thinks it helps the poor people. He would be angry if he knew I told you to leave. I have done my duty and will say no more. I must go back before he misses me. Goodbye. She quickly walked away among the stones, and I walked back to Baskerville Hall, full of worries.